is the European Youth Work Agenda about? To strengthen and shape youth work development, the European Youth Work Agenda as a strategic framework addresses 8 aims. The first and overall aim focuses on implementing the European Youth Work Agenda in the Bonn process as a strategic framework for the development of youth work in Europe. How can this be achieved? With the European Youth Work Agenda, a new level of strategic joint action in the field of youth work is envisaged. To achieve this, strengthened cooperation at European level is key. Together, the European Commission and the Council of Europe can support making the agenda happen. Thus, the Bonn process needs to be developed under the umbrella of both European strategies in the field of youth. National, regional and local action planning can be progressed. Different stakeholders can plan manifold action. A team of researchers could, for instance, research on the impact of a crisis and inform policymakers. An open youth center could start a peer learning initiative among youth centers in rural areas across Europe. A formal educator of youth workers could introduce a new training model, just to name a few ideas. Much more can happen. The Bonn process relies on the engagement of many. Therefore, all relevant stakeholders and sectors of the youth work community of practice need to engage. A coordinated approach for the different stakeholders is important to engage hand in hand and in a strategic way. A newly established network for youth work development in Europe should support this. The second aim focuses on establishing youth work as an essential part of youth policies. In many parts of Europe, recognition of youth work's positive contribution to young people's lives is growing. How can this be supported? The Bonn process aims to support youth work in consolidating and strengthening its place as an essential part within youth policy. Different measures can strengthen this aim. Developing youth-friendly approaches across fields of governance. Engaging youth workers and other stakeholders of the field in decision-making. And making sure that young people's voices are heard and insights from youth work research feed into policy making. Equipped with political support, an adequate mandate and good framework conditions, youth work can seize all opportunities to have its say as a stakeholder and open up new opportunities. The third aim focuses on ensuring and expanding the provision of youth work. Youth work aspires to be available and accessible to all young people who desire it. How can this vision be achieved? On the one hand, the principle of a basic youth work offer should be pursued. Building on more knowledge about existing gaps on the map of youth work provision, the growth of youth work offers is key, especially at local level. On the other hand, youth work needs to ensure equal access for all young people through innovative ideas, cross-sectoral cooperation, or inclusive and targeted approaches to reach young people with fewer opportunities. All of this cannot be realized without investment. The Bonn process needs to advocate for good framework conditions and sufficient human and financial resources to help ensure a flourishing youth work provision across Europe. The fourth aim focuses on strengthening the common ground of youth work through cooperation within and beyond the community of practice. Further dialogue about the common ground of youth work is still needed, especially between the European, national and local levels of the youth work sector and between policy, research and practice. Coalitions with other sectors can help connect the dots, which are relevant to young people's life worlds. The Bonn process opens up opportunities to maintain and establish platforms for knowledge transfer, reflection and cooperation. One idea is to develop an open and multilingual European digital platform on youth work. This platform could become a space for the community of practice to share information, knowledge and good practice, to engage in cooperation and peer learning. It should be developed in a joint effort and look for synergies with existing platforms. The fifth aim focuses on supporting the further development of quality youth work. Constant quality development within youth work remains a key task. Among other dimensions, this includes the role of youth work for promoting active citizenship and solidarity of young people. The provision of quality youth work can benefit from further developing and implementing quality systems, indicators, and frameworks. In the spotlight of all efforts for quality are the youth workers. They need many competences to provide good youth work. This requires a focus on training, continuous professional development, and quality assurance. An increased focus on the role of trainers, the recognition of their competences, and increased cooperation is needed as well. Last but not least, the potential of research focusing on youth work needs to be unfolded by developing a research agenda and increasing networking. Thus, youth work academia can contribute to quality development. The sixth aim focuses on supporting the ability of youth work to tackle emerging challenges and innovate its practices. Youth work has always had to adapt to the contexts of young people's lives. The bond process should support knowledge of young people's changing circumstances and the implications of its findings for youth work. The responsive youth work practice needs to focus on young people's needs. It requires resources to invent new approaches, capacity building and training of youth work stakeholders. Youth work has to get ready and equipped to face European and global transformation, including digital and ecological transitions. Thus, youth work can turn challenges into opportunities. The seventh aim focuses on enhancing the promotion and recognition of youth work. Communicating the value and impact of youth work remains a central task. Benefits arise from both experience and delivery of youth work. For young people and those who provide youth work as volunteers, there is a need to develop instruments to recognize and validate acquired competences. Youth work needs to communicate a core message about its value, but must use detailed messaging to reach different audiences. Raising awareness of the value of youth work is a common task for the community of practice, a task everyone can contribute to. The eighth aim focuses on ensuring a strong role for youth work in the new normal. The COVID-19 pandemic has put the delivery of youth work in jeopardy. Elsewhere, however, the youth work has rapidly enhanced its capacity to deliver its services digitally. Advancing smart youth work needs adequate financial resources, infrastructure, and qualification. Whatever the new normal holds for young people, youth work will continue to involve young people in purposeful experiences, ensure their voices are heard, address vulnerabilities, and care for young people's well-being. The bond process aims to ensure that youth work is appropriately equipped to fulfill these tasks. The crisis is also a time for developing a recovery plan for youth work in Europe and to prepare for future crises. Youth work should also use this momentum to position itself for the time after the crisis. This includes proactively facing the impact of and societal transitions following the COVID-19 pandemic. This crisis holds opportunities to work towards youth-friendly and sustainable societies. The European Youth Work Agenda addresses many aims and opens up manifold opportunities. With the bond process, a huge step forward can be made for youth work in Europe. Whether we support young people in our youth club, engage as a trainer in new seminars on innovative trends, or we develop youth-friendly policies, the European Youth Work Agenda, this strategic framework for youth work development, is for all of us, and we have a place in it. Let's take it, shape it, and fill it with life. Let's make youth work grow across Europe.